Did you know that you can farm 1 million runes in Elden Ring in under 7 minutes? That's right, with this strat you can easily farm 1 million runes even in your first playthrough, but in order to achieve these high numbers you will need a few things to help out. The first of these items is the Golden Scarab Talisman, and when equipped it will boost your rune acquisition by 20%. The second item is the gold Pickled Fowl, which when consumed will boost your rune acquisition by 30% for 3 minutes, and this item will stack with the Golden Scarab Talisman, and due to the way the game calculates these boosts, combined they will actually give you a massive 56% boost in your rune acquisition. If you don't already have these two items, fear not, I will go over how to obtain both of them at the end of the video. In addition to these two items, you will also need a couple of weapons. These are any standard bow and arrow and the sacred relic sword, but for this strat you will need to meet the minimum stats required to wield this weapon, which are 14 strength, 24 dexterity and 22 faith. But if needed, you can respec your character with RUNE if your stats don't quite align with this. While all of these items and weapons will enable you to obtain 1 million runes in just under 7 minutes, even without all of them you will still be able to farm a considerable amount of runes, extremely easily, and in a short amount of time with the strat I am about to show you. So, let's dive straight into one of the best rune farming spots the Lands Between has to offer. For this rune farm strat, you will need to have access to the Palace Approach Ledge Road Site of Grace in Mohgwyn Palace, located here on the map. But again, don't worry if you haven't accessed this area yet. I will give you a quick guide later on in the video on 2 separate ways you can gain access to this area of the game, one of which can be done relatively early in your playthrough. Once you are at the Palace Approach Ledge Road Site of Grace, equip your bow in one slot and the Sacred Relic Sword in another, and make sure you've equipped your arrows of choice as well. Next, equip your Golden Scarab Talisman and consume a gold Pickled Fowl, and you're ready to go. First, head to the edge of the cliff with your bow active, and aim towards the tree in the area below, and you will see a prowling blistered giant crow. Aim and fire an arrow at the crow. If successfully hit, the crow will aggro and run towards you, yeeting itself off the edge. You then want to quickly turn right and switch weapon to the Sacred Relic Sword, and when you are positioned just before the first Albinauric that is sat on the floor, use the Wave of Gold weapon skill by holding the left trigger. This will then unleash a long-reaching golden arc of holy damage that will decimate the Albinaurics caught in its path. As soon as you have fired the first wave, head a little further down the path to this spot here, and unleash the Wave of Gold once more, taking out the remaining Albinaurics that were missed by the first wave. Then run straight back to the Site of Grace, rest and repeat. In total, 1 lap of this rune farm with all the boosts on will accrue you 79,709 runes, and will take roughly 30 seconds from standing up from the Grace to resting and standing up again after completing the rune farm. With a little math, if you rinse and repeat this 13 times, you will earn 1,036,217 runes, and this will take you 7 minutes total. Just remember though, you will need to reapply the gold Pickled Fowl, as that will only last for 3 minutes, so you will need a total of 3 gold Pickled Fowl consumables to obtain the 1 million runes in this time. For those of you who don't have or don't want to obtain all of the items, here is a quick rundown of what you can still achieve with different variations of the items. If you farm just the crow with no boosts, you will still earn 11,038 runes, and as it is a 12-second lap, you can obtain 1 million runes in just under 19 minutes, providing you hit the crow first time on each attempt. If you farm the crow with the Golden Scarab Talisman equipped, you will earn 13,245 runes per lap, so to obtain 1 million runes will take you just under 16 minutes. By farming the crow just using the gold Pickled Fowl, you will earn 14,349 runes. This run takes 12 seconds per lap plus a few seconds to consume the Pickled Foot, so obtain 1 million runes it will take just under 15 minutes, and requires a total of 5 gold Pickled Fowl consumables. Farming the crow with both the gold Pickled Fowl and the Golden Scarab equipped will earn you 17,219 runes per lap, meaning you can obtain 1 million runes in just under 12 minutes, utilising 4 gold Pickled Fowl consumables. By farming just the Albinaurics with no boost active, you will earn 40,065 runes. This should take around 26 seconds per farm. Therefore, you can obtain 1 million runes in 11 minutes, providing your Wave of Gold attack takes out all of the Albinaurics within the 2 uses. If you farm the Albinaurics with the Golden Scarab Talisman, you will earn up to 48,067 runes. And as it takes 26 seconds per lap, you can obtain 1 million runes in under 10 minutes. If you choose to farm the Albinaurics with the gold Pickled Fowl, you will earn up to 52,072 runes, and you can obtain 1 million runes in under 9 minutes, but this will require the use of 3 gold Pickled Fowl consumables. Farming the Albinaurics with both the gold Pickled Fowl and the Golden Scarab will earn you 62,490 runes per lap. Therefore, you obtain 1 million runes in just over 7 minutes, utilising 3 golden Pickled Fowl consumables, making this the second most optimised way of doing the run. Farming both the crow and Albinaurics in the same run with no boost will earn you 51,103 runes per lap, giving you 1 million runes in 10 minutes. If you choose to utilise the Golden Scarab Talisman, you can earn 61,312 runes per lap, and this will take you 9 minutes to earn 1 million runes. If you use just the gold pickled Fowl on both the Crow and Albinaurics, this will earn you up to 66,421 runes, requiring 3 golden pickled Fowl consumables. This will earn you 1 million runes in just over 8 minutes. And finally, as mentioned earlier, if you choose to do the full strat and use both the golden Scarab and the gold pickled Fowl on the Crow and Albinaurics, then you will be able to obtain 1 million runes in just under 7 minutes, utilising 3 gold pickled Fowl consumables, making this the most efficient and quickest option for obtaining 1 million runes. And there you have it! For the purpose of this video, I chose to use the Sacred Relic Sword, which has a fantastic area of effect attack, but other similar weapons can be used. However, they won't be as effective and will require additional time. For my math, I have both calculated what the rune values should be and tested them myself, and as there was some difference, I went with the lower values from my actual gameplay footage. Also, it is worth noting I didn't particularly optimise my movements, so it is possible for more savvy players to be able to do these runs even quicker. So to summarise, even using 0 boosts and just farming the blistered giant crow, you can obtain 1 million runes in under 19 minutes, without the need for any special weapons, just a bow and 91 arrows, providing you don't miss any of the shots. It is also worth noting that sometimes the crow will de-aggro before it jumps off the cliff. If this happens, you just need to rest at the site of grace and try again, so make sure you have a few extra arrows just in case. But if that strat is too slow for you, then grab yourself the golden Scarab Talisman, a few gold pickled Fowl feet, and the Sacred Relic Sword, and you can bag yourself 1 million runes in under 7 minutes. Before we move on, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss out on even more Elden Ring content. So, now that the strat is all out of the way, I will go over how to obtain all the items that you'll need to fully optimise this farm strat. And as mentioned above, you can pick and choose how optimal you want to make it. The Golden Scarab Talisman is located in the abandoned cave in Caelid, and is awarded to you for defeating the cave's boss, the Cleanrot Knight duo. To get to the cave, from Caelin Ruin, site of grace in Caelid, head southeast to this spot on your map. From here, cross the branch over the ravine, then enter the cave, and rest at the site of grace. It is worth noting that this cave will inflict scarlet rot and poison, so make sure you have some preserving and neutralising boluses on you before you continue. From the cave site of grace, drop down off the ledge and head left. Then when you reach the fork in the path, take the left-hand fork and follow the path until you reach an open cavern. Then veer right along the ledge and drop off at the end, and go through the next tunnel immediately in front of you. Head all the way down and just keep going straight forward, dodging any enemies you may encounter. The tunnel will then start to go back up again and twist around until you enter another cavern. Stick to the right hand side of the cavern, then go up the ramp and jump onto the top section and enter the next tunnel immediately in front of you. If you then follow the tunnel all the way down, you will then find yourself in front of the golden fog gate of the Cleanrot Knight duo. And once you have defeated them, you will be rewarded with the Golden Scarab Talisman. The next item you will need is the gold pickled Fowl, which boosts your rune acquisition by 30% for 3 minutes, and several of these can be found throughout the lands between as loot. 3 can be purchased from Patches at Murkwater Cave for 600 runes each, once he has set up shop, or if you have already taught Patches a lesson, they can instead be purchased from the Twin Maiden Husks at the Round Table Hold, once you have given them Patches' Bell Bearing. The easiest way to obtain the gold pickled Fowl is to craft them using your crafting kit, and to do so will cost 3 rower fruit, 1 4-toed fowl and a gold firefly, so providing you have these crafting materials, you are good to go. Unfortunately, the only way to obtain the Sacred Relic Sword is to have defeated the Elden Beast, and then traded in its remembrance with Enya at the Round Table Hold. There are alternative weapons that can be obtained earlier in the game, such as Radahn's Star Scourge Greatsword, which has the weapon skill Starcaller Cry, which will stagger and pull enemies towards you, and then when used immediately again, will cause you to bring down both swords into the ground, producing a giant gravity explosion. Another alternative weapon is Rykard's Blasphemous Blade, and this weapon has a weapon skill called Taker's Flames, which at first ignites the blade in flames and then smashes into the ground, sending a fire shockwave in a forward line. Both of these alternatives will work for this strat, however, as they aren't as effective as the Sacred Relic Sword in killing as many Albinaurics in one go, it will both increase the time required and likely reduce the amount of enemies killed, in turn reducing the total runes you can acquire each lap. And finally, now that we have all the items needed for the strat, all we need to do is be able to access the area. And as mentioned, there are 2 possible routes to Mohgwyn's palace. The first route will require you to have access to the consecrated snowfield, and if you have already got access to this area, this will be the quicker route for you to take. In this location on the map on the western side of the consecrated snowfield, you will find a waygate that will instantly teleport you to the cliffs right above the Grace of Sight that you will need for this rune farm. Head to your nearest site of grace at this point and utilise Torrent to beeline your way across the map until you get to it. Then all you need to do is interact with the waygate and whoosh! Welcome to Mohgwyn Palace. The second route to Mohgwyn Palace requires you to complete White Mask Vera's questline, and by the end of it you will obtain the Pureblood Knight's Medal, and when used, this will teleport you to the other side of Mohgwyn's Palace. Luckily, the map for this area is located up the steps from where you teleport in, so grab that, then make a beeline across the Red Lake, and head up the path at the end and you will find yourself at the Palace Approach Ledge Road Site of Grace that you will need for this farm strat. Here is a very quick rundown of Vara's questline and everything you need to do. First, meet White Mask Vara at the first step just outside the Stranded Graveyard, and exhaust his dialogue. Defeat a Shardbearer and obtain a great rune, such as Godric the Grafted, Renella or Radahn. Speak with Enya the Finger Reader by the 2 fingers at Round Table Hold. After this, Vara has moved to the Rose Church in Liurnia, located here on the map. Speak with him and he will ask your opinion on the 2 fingers. You must respond with, "They didn't seem right." Vara will then task you with invading 3 other players using the Festering Bloody Finger. It is worth noting that you don't need to win these invasions, just participate in them. If you are having problems finding people to invade, there is an NPC you can invade instead called Magnus the Beastclaw, and their invasion sign is located in the Writhe-Blood Ruins in Altus Plateau. And as with the PvP invasions, you will need to invade Magnus 3 times for it to count towards Vara's questline. Bear in mind that accessing the NPC invasion will require you to have found both halves of the Dectus Medallion in order to enter Altus Plateau. Once all 3 invasions have been completed, return to Vara at Rose Church, and when prompted, choose to let him anoint you. Vara will then task you with soaking the Lord of Blood's favour in Maiden's blood. For this part of the quest, you have 3 maidens to choose from: the Dead Maiden at the Chapel of Anticipation, the Dead Maiden at the Chapel of Inhibition, or by killing Arena. I personally would recommend the Chapel of Anticipation, the location where you first started the game. In order to return there, you will need to travel to the 4 belfries in Western Liurnia, located here on the map. Take the imbued key from the chest at the top of the belfries, then use it on the first waygate that is first from the top. It will have a message that reads Precipice of Anticipation. Use the portal and you will be teleported to the Chapel of Anticipation. You will then need to defeat the Grafted Scion boss located behind the Golden Fog Wall if you haven't already done so. Then head across the bridge and back into the building where you originally started. On the left you will find the Dead Maiden on the floor, and then select the option to soak the cloth in her blood. Then return to Vara at Rose Church and exhaust his dialogue until he gives you the Pureblood Knight's Medal. This item will allow you to teleport to Mohgwyn's Palace. Once you have used the Pureblood Knight's Medal and arrived at Mohgwyn's Palace, collect the map from up the steps on this body, and then beeline it on torrent to this point on the map by heading across the Blood Lake and up the path to the Palace Approach Ledge Road Site of Grace. And that's it! You now have everything you need to farm 1 million runes in under 7 minutes. I really hope that you have found this rune farming guide useful, and more importantly, I hope the information serves you well as you take on your journey through the lands between. Let me know in the comment section below which version of the strat you decided to go with and what you're planning on spending all those millions of runes on. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Elden Ring content.